okay? Don't fade out. Whatever. What is going on, everybody? Feels like we haven't been on in like, I don't know, 2 days. Feels longer than that, doesn't it?
Well, it was a long weekend with new puppy. So.
Oh my God, that dog.
She's great.
She is great, but it's exhausting. I'm doing a job. I'm making up for never, like, completely always ignoring our children. She's a lot of work. Yes. I mean, I don't get a moment's rest. I'm constantly trying to entertain her and keep her from being stupid.
That's what being a stay-at-home mom is all about. Welcome to mommyhood.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Seriously. That's why nothing was ever done when you got home from work.
I think that's a convenient excuse. I made dinner. I cleaned and straightened up
I always
today.
had dinner ready, but...
Yeah, that's true. You did a good job. You were a good stay-at-home mom.
Thanks.
I will tell you, I'm doing a phenomenal job raising that puppy, though.
Yes.
She is learning uber duper fast. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, she is.
Welcome, everybody, to pre-show. We have announced it on Facebook, so good to have everybody here. You're listening to Still Point, STIILPOINT. Wow, you started on time tonight? Well, yeah.
Gotta give us shit, of course.
That's it's usually 7:05, 7 o'clock. I think what we'll do is start on time. That was easy. What I'm doing is I'm working out before dinner. And now that I have the puppy, it's like I worked out at like 2:30 today. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm tired. Like, you guys are going to have to, listen, you have to donate to the monkey tonight because the monkey is needs to be wound up. You got to wind up. You got to wind up the monkey.
You got to entertain.
Got to entertain the monkey. 3 seconds. We'll be back if I'm not asleep. See ya. 3 minutes. Maddie Howen, it's getting it taken care of over on Twitter. So's Mel. Thank you, you too. I appreciate you. It's good to see everybody rocking and rolling over on Twitter. Thank you.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up.
And Phil Handa, also sharing over on Twitter. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, Phil. Didn't want to leave you out.
The party ends. Agree or disagree. Stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn, show what you need. I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dad.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show.
I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth.
Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Shit. It's going to be one of those
It's
nights.
going to be one of those nights.
Real American and Amy, thank you both for sharing as well over on Twitter. It's nice to see. We've got 50 people watching on Twitter.
Already.
Yeah,
Nice.
already. So it's good to see. Rumble is
Nice.
hitting. We've already got 111 on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys must have missed us this weekend. We missed you too.
Apparently.
Or you
Where do you
guys.
see the real numbers? Because I only show 38.
So when I highlight the middle, I can click, and you see where there's a little eye? Can you see that?
What?
No, you can't.
No.
So it's right here for me. I've got
Okay,
I've
you've
got
got the master board.
I've got the master control panel here.
Yep.
Where you can see right here. It just popped up.
Got it.
So you can see 73 on Twitter, 42 on Facebook.
Nice.
So it's and it's 134 now.
Oh.
We have 134. All right, so let's since we have so many people on so quickly, let's get on to it. Did you ever think that we'd be doing this? I mean, I was just folks. I just fell asleep. Like I'm exhausted. So
Yeah.
I took a quick power nap before it came out. In fact, my hat is still the wrong way. Did you ever think we'd be doing like when we did the Nerd Fat podcast? Did you ever think we'd go back to doing podcasting?
No, I thought it was over.
Yeah, me too.
But I knew you always wanted to go back.
Yeah.
Because I know it was either this or owning your own business was your dream, and technically you're owning your own business.
Well,
so.
we that's what we think.
So.
Yeah. I mean, Nerd Fap was fun. I mean, Nerd Fap was a great podcast, and it was probably top 10 nerd content. It was like right there with Kotoku, and then Chris. I can't remember Chris's name.
We would be huge if we would have stayed
Oh
with
God,
it.
if we would have stayed with it, we would have 20 million. I mean, we would be up there with one of the most popular nerd shows.
Yeah, because we started 10 years ago. When they were
Yeah,
just
and we were
getting
trying to
going.
figure out how to do video, right? And we were using
Phone.
yeah, the phone, and we were using whatever that hijack or whatever it was from
Yep.
Twitter, and it didn't work, and it sucked, and we couldn't get the audio to work. And now it's like having people in the room right next to you. It's insane. But when we started out, you could only do a podcast, and we crushed it. I mean, it was
Gin Blossoms followed us. For
the Gin Blossoms followed us. We had Jim Lee followed us. Marvel Comics. We had the head writer of Punisher followed us. We had whoever made the Disney video game characters. Remember that little game that we used to play?
Yep.
They followed us. That was a huge follow there. And then we had the writer of Fight Club follow us. And it was great. We were crushing it. But anyway, I didn't think we'd ever be doing this again. So it's great to be here, folks. A little memory lane before we get started. Almost 200 people are on, which is amazing. 128 on Twitter. Good to see everybody. Listen, if you haven't followed us, please follow us. Especially over on Twitter. You guys hit the like and share. Twitter is impossible to crack. I don't know what it's going to take. I'm going to have to sacrifice
A goat to Cthulhu or something.
to Elon Musk. We are The Dumb Show. My name is Matthew Spear, and I'm the host of the Don't Unfriend Me Show. My wife Olivia is here, and yes, she's smoking hot. Top knot ponytail.
Thanks. I'm not going to be typing much today. My thumbs and wrists are killing me. So
you better save those things for
exactly.
later.
That's why I'm not going to be typing much.
So Olivia knows top high ponytail is my weakness, and she did it tonight
on purpose. Because I can.
Constitution of the United States. This book you can get on thedumbshow.com. It is exclusive to us right now. Applewood Books in Arcadia. You can't get it anywhere else. It actually has the full Bill of Rights inside of it. It's got all the amendments. It's got the Constitution itself, the full version, 144 pages, color pages on the inside of the Constitution, and then biographies of all the framers on the back. It is leather, and we use this book quite often. So we're going to use it tonight. So if you haven't picked one up, go over to thedumbshow.com. I think we're on our third run right now, so you go do that. Second, thedumbshow.com/donate. If you guys would not mind, Facebook has demonetized us. We only get money on memes and such, and then the occasional video that goes viral. But you won't even see a commercial on this, which is insane, even though I have them turned on. And they took away all of our copyright, so people can just take our show overseas and use it and not give us any royalties. I know.
I don't get that.
But it was almost $15,000 a month, and we were ready to shut this thing down. And then the fans came out, and they just it's been, I think, 11, we hit 11 months of donations, and we've hit it every single night, every single month. We've had a goal. Tonight, our goal is 300. I only mention it once in the beginning and at the end. We don't beg for money. If you don't want to give us money, don't. If you want to, good. We certainly could use it. Our internet bill went up to $1,800 to stream in 4K in the quality, and we care about our set, and we try to do it the right way. So ask yourself the question: if you do $22 to Netflix and you watch it 4 hours a month, but if you watch us 20 or 30 hours a month, you got to figure that out. All right, let's get to it. We got
They want pop updates.
oh, shit. Puppy is good. I'm exhausted.
She's growing like a weed.
Growing like a weed. Found out, like, we ordered some food off of, what's it called?
It's Chewy, but it's the same food that she came with.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the same exact food, but for some reason, something was wrong with the bag that we got, and she wouldn't eat yesterday. And we thought it was because she was teething. And
No, you thought it was because I called that the bag
Yeah.
was bad right away, and everyone said, no, it's not. And I said, yes, it is, because she kept turning her nose up to it. Well, lo and behold, this was last night, and when she started to get real feisty.
yeah, she was hungry, so she was feisty.
And, you know, I was able to calm her down. We were able to come. Olivia's been amazing with her, but here's the. You get that. Get it. So that was that.
You get that.
So Olivia, just being the awesome wife that she is, decided to. Here is she. This is Ash sitting with me while I'm cooking dinner, which I made an amazing bone-in chicken, dark and white meat, Chick-fil-A, air-fried chicken tonight. Oh my gosh, it was wicked. Here is Mom getting some.
She was funny last night.
Love with the puppy. And here is the dog sprawled out and completely just out. And then this was her this morning.
Should show last night's video.
I am.
Chill.
she
Once
got
we
her-
got the new food.
Her Purina chicken with real chicken bits, and she was like, forget about it. She munched, like, she devoured that, and then she had got into a food coma. And then
She learned how to shake in a matter of minutes. Like, I did it like 5 times, and now she's doing it with no issues.
yeah,
She's so smart.
Very, very smart. Where did she send it to family? Oh,
Yes,
she
she
did.
did. She
So
sent it
this
to
was on the
family.
couch
Talk
last
about a
night.
meltdown. Are we okay? Did I get you a little too excited?
And all I did was say to her, go lay down. And then she would run across the other side of the couch and go lay down. But I've never seen a husky overstimulated. I've read about it because I read about all about huskies when we decided to get the dog. Holy crap. I had no idea that they turn into the Tasmanian devil. I mean, they sound like it too. Here is this terrifying little munchkin.
No bite. Hey. Okay, all right, come on, calm down. Calm down. Looking at those teeth, there are no teeth. Stop chewing. You want to go get mommy? Go beat up mommy for laughing at you. She thinks you're being a dummy. Why is everyone laughing at you? It's not funny, is it? I don't like it either. I go get them. Okay. All right.
I've just never heard a dog make noises like that before.
Hey, easy. Let's calm down. Calm down now. Now it's time to calm down.
Gosh,
So-
she was funny.
What's great is that, listen, people are like, what are you doing? Is this a show? What the hell is this? Folks, we talk to our audience.
yes.
And this is the show where you can actually interact, and we read comments of people, and we share our lives, because we find ourselves not just to be a bunch of monkeys that do entertainment for politics, but we also like to share our lives with you, because a lot of our learnings and a lot of our life lessons comes from us being together. So we hope you enjoy it. But anyway, that's our new puppy, Ash. And all the time that she was putting her teeth on me, she's not biting. In fact, she's not even leaving a red mark. In fact, she's not leaving an indentation or a scratch. She is completely in control, super smart, unbelievably intelligent. And we're just blown away at how well she gets along with the cat. So things are good. So just want to let you know. Ethan comes home and he runs a quarter of a mile with her in the backyard and just does wind sprints and wears her down. But anyway, so we hope you enjoy learning about our dog. 400 people on tonight so far.
All right.
Let's get busy. We got a lot to do.
We've got 48 on Rumble.
Oh, then that's 440 people on. All right, let's roll. Obviously, people are starving for some information. So we'll give it to you, and we'll just stop screwing around. A block is now, and let's get into it. So we break our show down. You can go look at the notes. A block is going to be about constitutional crisis. What is it? What does it mean? Why do Democrats keep talking about it, not shutting up about it? Halftime show we deserved but didn't get. FBI leaks. J.D. Vance won't be the nominee. You've heard me say this before, and people are like, yes, he will. No, he won't. Letting you know, he doesn't have it. And Philly riots. Even though I like him, he's not going to be the next president of the United States. A lot of people know my predictions already. So the new Democrat buzzword is constitutional crisis. And if you have your Declaration of Independence, you can actually go to Article 3.
Hey, pause real quick.
Yeah, baby.
Do you have the splash for the money? I just put one in and it didn't splash up.
Shite.
So, Debbie, thank you very much.
Debbie, thank you, sweetie.
She said, laugh and the world will laugh with you. That's what she
Deb,
said.
I'm sorry. You know what? Why don't we just take it out and put it back in? She deserves to have it seen. We got so many people on. Let's let her see it. So if you go to Article 3, not Amendment 3, folks. I don't want you to get confused. Stay out of the Bill of Rights. Just go right to the beginning. And you're going to go to page, and not section 3, but you're going to go to page 17, middle of the page. Let's go here. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as deemed by Congress. May from time to time ordain and establish. The judges both of the Supreme and inferior courts, being the inferior courts would be the circuit courts and the federal court, shall hold their office during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under the Constitution of the laws in the United States, and these made or
There it
which.
is.
Hey, but there's Bobby Rich said
But now
laugh.
it's saying 103.98, even though I deleted it.
You have to physically go into the app. You have to reset the goal,
Okay.
and you got to.
I'll start it at 51.99.
Yeah, you should do that. Okay. So basically, what am I trying to say? So a constitutional crisis, Liv. What do you think of constitutional crisis?
In 1 second, I will tell you.
Nope, that's not it. That is most assuredly not the definition of a constitutional crisis. So, first of all, let me show you a video. Then I'll tell you what a constitutional crisis is. But let me explain why this is going around like it is. Well, first of all, Democrats are literally a hive mind. And if Republicans are kind of off the page sometimes and not necessarily always the same page, Democrats share one collective mind. And the reason why they do is because they get information from multiple sources that are all saying the same thing. There you go.
There we go.
Look at
finally.
you. Look at
Sorry,
you. Not just hot, but super smart. You're like the puppy.
If you tell me to sit and shake, I'll shake your hand.
Oh, don't even start. I've got some new commands to learn. So no bite. So here's a video to give you a demonstration of what I mean by this. And this is all collective mainstream media. And there's several right sources. I mean, you can go as far right as over to Breitbart or the War Room and go as far left as the Young Turks and the Bernie Bros and all that other crap and Harry Sasson and the Krasenstein brothers. But somewhere in the middle, a lot of people believe that there's a ton of conservative channels. There are, but they very rarely all say the same thing. In fact, there's a very eclectic view in the conservative movement where we may not agree on all things. And that's always been the conservative movement because we've always been about individual rights. And when you are an individual-based party, you're going to have individualistic ideas versus a collective mind. With liberals, they get all their news from the same, and it doesn't matter whether it's CBS or ABC or the Young Turks or the Huffington Post. Everything is going to say the same thing. Here's a perfect example. Then we'll talk about why this is more hot air from the liberals. Watch this.
To our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous 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 to our democracy.
You know what else is dangerous is all those people on Twitter, considering we have 500 people on now, plus Rumble, like 575. If you don't follow, and this is the one thing, we've had this happen before. We crush it, and then people don't follow. Give us a follow. We deserve it. We love you. We appreciate you. And we promise to continue to bring you good stuff if you do. Thanks.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 To our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
If you watch that video and you've seen me play it before, this, and I kid you not, goes on for 2.5 minutes, and they have a full manifesto of information, and they are perfectly in sync. And this is all over the country. I think it's like 100 stations all said the exact same thing. And this happens all the time. And right now, it's about a constitutional crisis. So what they're saying is because Donald Trump is using a non-elected official, as in Elon Musk, to go ahead and have oversight over federal dollars and federal programs, and a judge, and this is very, very important because this is where confusion happens, is the court system. Now, Liv,
Yes.
I'm going to walk you through this, and I know
Okay.
you don't know this, so I'm going to help you through it.
Okay.
Give me the 3 levels of court.
Of court? Well,
Start-
there's like local
there-
judges,
yep,
right?
Perfect. Outstanding.
And then there
so
is.
hold on. There's city and local, okay?
Then there's district,
District, then
state,
state. You're doing great.
then federal, then supreme.
Nope, you're missing one. Federal, then I am like, this is extra. Like you get extra like
Extra pets tonight.
extra. Yeah, I'm not like I'm taking my extra and giving it to you. You earned extra
What's
cuddle
between
time.
federal and supreme?
Circuit.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So when you have federal court, that's trial level. So that's where trials take place.
Okay.
Circuit is going to be appeals.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then you have SCOTUS, which is final authority.
Mhm.
Now, here's the thing. When you look at federal and circuit, who runs those?
Federal and circuit, supreme.
Supreme. That's right. So why do we have 9 Supreme Court justices?
So there's not a deadlock in everything that. is
You
voted
do an
on.
odd number for that, but why are there 9 outside of that?
Because there's 9 circuits, I would assume.
9 circuits and districts, yes. So you have 9 federal and circuit courts. So they take up regions. It's like a regional manager versus a vice president, right?
Mhm.
So you're going to have multiple states have a district. Now, if you have California, Washington, and Oregon, what type of judges do you think are going to be in that?
There'd be very liberal judges.
And if you have Wyoming, Nebraska, Oklahoma, I'm just randomly in North Dakota and South Dakota,
it's gonna be very conservative.
very, very
judges.
conservative. So what we've got here is, what would you call that? If I'm sitting, like, what should judges, first of all, what's the number one rule about justice?
It should be unbiased.
It should be always unbiased. It should be blind, right? Because
Justice is blind.
Justice is blind. So if you are immediately, you and I are both saying, well, there's political courts, is that truly being blind?
No.
Okay, so now, do we have a constitutional crisis when the jobs of the judges from the circuit and federal level and the Supreme Court are to ensure legality with the presidential's decisions, because these judges do have the right to block, to stop permanently or temporarily, and put injunctions on certain executive orders. But who has the only ability to make that final decision? Which
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, right. So if you know that the lower courts are politicized, as the President of the United States, is that not a clear and present danger to the Constitution of the United States?
Yeah, they're being biased against him.
Right.
They're trying to block. He's the elected official, and they're trying to block what he's doing as president.
Correct. So now you have a constitutional crisis within a supposed constitutional crisis. It's easy for liberals to say, oh, yeah, well, there's a constitutional crisis because Donald Trump has decided to go ahead and write certain executive orders that don't fall within the parameters of the Constitution. But that's based upon evaluatory bodies who make a decision whether there is precedent or there's prudence to block or deny an executive order based upon the Constitution of the United States. So it's a catch-22. It's a chicken and an egg kind of thing. So the president is responsible to enforcing the laws of the United States and using executive orders to cut the red tape to get these things put into place. And the ultimate job of the judicial branch is to oversee to ensure it's constitutional. When you have a crisis where the president is saying, wait a second, you guys are biased. That's why California and other major circuits in New York are throwing injunctions against me. We do not stand by that, and we are going to take it to the higher court. Does the president of the United States have to comply with those orders from the courts?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Until they've been appealed by Supreme Court.
Correct. Now, well, not appealed, but reviewed.
Oh, reviewed.
Right.
Okay.
And they'll either affirm or refrain. And if they affirm, they'll write a piece on affirmation. And if they refrain, they'll write a piece for denial. But here's the thing. Can you think of a time that Joe Biden didn't listen?
Yes.
Give me a time.
His entire freaking presidency.
Yeah. But Supreme Court specifically made a decision on one thing he tried to do.
Student loans.
That's right. Dude, what the shit is up with you? Look at the brain on Brad. You're killing
I
it.
cheated on that one.
How?
Because Jane said it in Rumble Chat before you asked the question.
Aw, Jane. That's all right. You know what? You shouldn't have outed Jane. We have 612 people on and 75 on Rumble, so now we're at 702.
No, it's all because of this, right?
I'm sure it is. So now that we know that it's a constitutional crisis, let's just assume that the lower courts are corrupt. Let's just assume that Donald Trump is saying, you know what, screw you, I'm not going to listen to you. That is the definition of a constitutional crisis. So Democrats have it right. However, as Democrats are always this way, they're leaving out a giant piece, which is, before it even gets to Donald Trump, the level of corruption in the lower courts, because they're politicized, as we've seen with the witch hunts against Donald Trump, with the orders against Texas securing their border. We know that there are certain courts that will show in favor and affirm conservatives, and some will confirm liberals. So is it right for us to sit here and say, well, we don't like politicized courts unless they're conservatives?
No, all courts need to be not politicized. I don't care if they're conservative or liberal. Justice is blind. It needs to be no judges. They need to just go based on the law and the Constitution.
Correct. And the student loans is a huge example of this, because the student loans, what Joe Biden did is that he circumvented the Supreme Court and went ahead and used an old loan process of forgiving loans under an accreditation, and used it to apply debt forgiveness that had nothing to do with college loans, but went to like credit card debt. Now, Supreme Court didn't get a chance to rule on this, but most assuredly they would have said the same thing. It's what liberals always do, and this is what we're finding out with USAID, is they simply take money, rob Peter to pay Paul. They leave a massive paper trail, and there's levels of fraud. What Biden did was fraud. Here's another one. Can you think of Obamacare? Was there anything in Obamacare?
I wasn't too into politics when Obamacare came around, so I don't know the ins and outs of it.
So the mandate simply stated, like insurance, that if you don't have it, you'll be penalized. And that's where people would have had to pay $2,000 a month for insurance. If they
That's
didn't,
right. Okay.
if they didn't, that you had to have insurance. And if you didn't, you were going to be taxed.
Penalized, yep.
Thank you so much,
And
Joanne.
a lot of people, it was cheaper to pay the fine than it was to have insurance.
Right.
Because insurance was more expensive.
Right.
Now,
Hold on. Joanne, thank you so much. $20 canceling Netflix. So here you go. Good girl. What's up, Liv?
so when that was found to be unconstitutional, did they get their money back? The people had to pay the fines?
Nobody had to pay the fines because
Okay.
it was held up in the Supreme Court, but the mandate was
Gotcha.
found to be unconstitutional and it went back to the Senate.
Got
Then
it.
the Senate kicked it back down to the House to revise the bill, and then they got Obamacare pushed through without the mandate. So there are several times where the Supreme Court has done its job. Let's also look at Texas with the concertina wire that they were putting. Remember, they were putting the razor wire all along the border, and the Supreme Court said you can't do that. So what did the Supreme Court say? They actually sided with Texas, but they also didn't want to go ahead and set precedent. So what did they say? If you go ahead and put up wire, you have to take it down with an order. So what does that mean? Well, they would simply take it down and then just put it right back up, and they were following the law. So that's what Texas did, is they simply would take it down and put new wire back up. And the Supreme Court left that loophole because they didn't want to set precedent and make a decision because they wanted to reserve the powers to
The states.
which is the
10th commandment. 10th commandment.
you're mixing your books up. But yeah, it's the 10th Amendment. So reserve powers to the states, right? So that's what the Supreme Court, being conservative, is always going to fall on. They did this with Roe v. Wade. They're doing this with overall border enforcement. They did it with taxation without representation, which is what the Obamacare mandate most assuredly was. Now we put all that together. Here's the question. Is Donald Trump committing a constitutional... Why don't you put her back on?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is he creating a constitutional crisis by not listening to the courts and waiting for the Supreme Court decision, yes or no?
Okay, repeat that question because...
Is Trump committing a constitutional crisis with not listening to the courts and waiting for the Supreme Court to make that decision?
Technically, yes.
Yes. But so are liberals. So Donald Trump's argument before the court will be, I cannot... Here's the thing. The president of the United States has to be able to do their job. And he has to be free of any type of threat or blackmail or someone trying to cajole or extort. And that is why he cannot be... Now, this is really important, so listen up.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot be held for any criminal or civil culpability while he's president of the United States or decisions he made while he was in office. So if the president of the United States goes out and shoots somebody, can they go ahead and arrest him and put him in jail?
No.
No, they cannot. Now, this is an extreme. Articles of impeachment would immediately be drawn up. Based upon the reason an investigation would happen, Senate would overall decide. And if he was guilty and this was the optics of it were super, super bad, then he was going to be removed from office. But they can't do it without an impeachment. And that's pretty much for anything. So can they go ahead and hold him criminally responsible? Can they hold him civilly responsible? Can they put an injunction on him? Can they seize his businesses? Can they go ahead and threaten to remove him from office? Can they do any of that?
No.
No, then it's not a constitutional crisis because he's following the laws within the Constitution of the United States. And the executive privilege protects Donald Trump in this. So when liberals come up and go, well, it's a constitutional crisis, you say, yeah, but he's got executive privilege and he has the powers of the office behind him to go ahead and enforce the laws of this land. So if you really believe that, you're going to have to prove it where?
In court.
See? This is why the Constitution is a beautiful thing. And the Constitution provides and takes away to make sure everything's fair, equitable, and balanced. So as much as Donald Trump can't supersede the other branches of government, the other branches of government can't supersede their authority either. Mm-hmm. This is what makes a beautiful system. So what will happen is the federal and circuit will put temporary injunctions. They're going to find another court, which will go ahead and hear the case, a higher court, which ultimately will be the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
To
so
make
that's where it's going to have to go.
And they'll make a decision whether it is okay for Donald Trump to do these things. What they will ultimately find out is that oversight is 100% within the purview of Donald Trump's responsibility.
Because it's his responsibility to balance the budget.
No.
No?
It's Congress's. It's Congress's job, but
They're not doing their job.
that's not even it. What his job is to enforce the law. He is the head policeman in the United States, but he is not just responsible for protecting the borders. He is essentially the president of the governors. Everyone says he's the president of the people. He's not.
No.
The president of the United States is not the president of the people. He is not your president who represents you. That is your governor, your state and local representatives, your senators, your city council, your county clerk, your sheriff. Donald Trump represents the governors, and the governors represent you. And his job is to take the federal government's and global geopolitical situations and discern and disseminate those to the governors to ensure that the states are on the same page and can notify their constituents of what their states need to do to comply with state and federal law. This is what people don't seem to understand about the president. And they always go, he's not my president. You're like, you're right. He's not. But not because you don't like him and you're throwing a temper tantrum. He's not, because he represents the governors. These are the people that the president talks to more than anyone else, which are the governors. So, if we look at this constitutional crisis and we listen to this blowhard, which we've listened to many a times on this show, this is one of Harry Sassan's lovers, I'm thinking.
Right. I got a question after this.
Yeah, go.
So, considering that the president is the president of the governors, and the governors technically are president, why don't the governors just vote for the president?
That's a great question. Because we have a process of elected representation. So you have to have an election. But each state, and let's look at this, state legislatures represent what?
State legislator.
Represents who?
The people, right?
That's right. They represent the people. Then the senators represent the
state legislator.
State.
Oh, the state.
They represent the state. So they go to Washington and they vote and they blah, 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 blah. Okay? What does the governor represent?
The entire state, right?
He is the president of the state.
Yeah.
That's the simplest way to put it. He's the president of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So the president of the United States would be the president of
all the states, the governors.
All the states' presidents.
Yep.
That's how you have to look at it.
So it's like president.
Yep.
Vice president. And then like CEO, CFO.
No, because that's the interesting thing. It depends when it's about the federal government. It's most assuredly president, vice president, speaker of the House, blah, 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 all the way down. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about states, the governors have more power than the president of the United States because of the 10th Amendment. Reserved powers. Powers that are not specifically laid out in the Constitution are called implied powers. Implied powers are based upon the judiciary, which is the Supreme Court, making evaluations on the Constitution and then writing their precedent or opinions, whether they affirm or refrain. Their interpretations are put on this, and they can say, okay, let's take this case, Brown versus Board of Education. Here's our interpretation. Now this becomes precedent. And they can say, hey, I disagree with what you're saying. And those are, because of implied powers, president can do this instead. But if it's not implied, and it's not implied in the Constitution, it reverts back to the 10th Amendment, which is why Roe v. Wade ultimately was overturned. Because it was not a law. It was not in the Constitution. It was an enumerated power that was based upon the 14th Amendment that was completely a poor decision. And it should have been reversed. President can't dictate state law without 2/3 majority of the states to propose a new amendment, and cannot change an amendment without 3/4 majority of the states agreeing, and then the Senate will vote on it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm texting Hayden to come get the cat. There was a question.
Yes, the governors can go against the president in certain situations. So let's just say the president of the United States wants to activate the National Guard of a state. Can the governor deny that request?
Okay, I was looking for another question.
It's okay. The president of the United States wants to go ahead and use the National Guard from Nebraska and says, I order the National Guard to come to Washington, D.C. to protect us. Can the governor deny that request?
Yes.
Yes. Most assuredly. So there are certain things that they can deny. For instance, if there is not an amendment, if he makes an executive order like sanctuary cities are against the law, can they defy that? Yes, they can. If he bans guns in the United States and it's not codified into an amendment and an actual law with a 2/3 majority or changed with a 3/4 majority and approval from the Senate, they can deny. This is why some states have weed and others don't, even though it's a federal crime.
Yep.
So understand that governors have a lot of power, and it is a very important position. So when people say, oh, you're just a governor, no. You are a body of 50. You are just, and you're more powerful than the Senate. You are the most exclusive body of the branches of government outside the Supreme Court of the United States.
She's fine. Just keep the door open a crack, please.
Yeah, just a little bit, sweetie.
So there was another question when you're
Go
done.
ahead. Yeah, what is it?
It was Evelyn. The governors represent states' rights. Are they not separate?
I don't understand what that means.
That's just the question. That's the exact wording
Evelyn,
of the question.
clear it up. Clear that question up. Help me understand. Folks, we have 25% of the viewership of OAN right now.
How many are on?
658. No,
Wow.
558.
570 just on Twitter.
Folks, do you understand that we are 1/4 of OAN, which is a news station on it's huge. And we have 25% of OAN. Keep it up. Please follow Twitter. Follow. We need you to follow. All right. Doug says, my governor is Jewish. I'm cooked. No, if you're Jewish, history would tell us that they're cooked.
Oh, jeez, dear.
I'm just saying he said it. He's the one. Him being Jewish has nothing to do with it. I'm sorry. I think that's, whatever.
I don't think their religion has anything to do with how they run their state.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Jews. Some people do, and I don't understand. I don't. Well, it also, my grandmother was Jewish. I guess that makes me Jewish too. So maybe that's my thing. Or maybe it's because I have relatives who are actually Third Reich Nazis, and I'm trying to move away from it as much as I can. But either way, when we talk about a constitutional crisis, it's really important to understand, once again, that this is hyperbole. This is just liberals doing what liberals always do. Now that we understand a constitutional crisis, we're going to get off the A block. Yes, ma'am.
Evelyn cleaned it up. So the president does not have jurisdiction over the governors unless unless what they are doing is against the Constitution, correct?
Yes. The state's constitution also, there can be injunctions put on the governor from the lower representatives. The state legislature or Senate can also do that against the governor. They can do a vote of no confidence. They can do a recall and do an election on that person like they did to Gavin Newsom. It's not just the president who has injunctive powers. The courts can, the Senate and state legislature from the state side and from Washington, D.C. The governor, everybody can get it from all sides, y'all. The point is that the president of the United States doesn't need to use constitutional law to get what he wants from governors. What can he do, Liv?
Sorry, I'm putting in a tip.
I know, but who controls roadways and bridges for the? Thank you, Maddie. Trump playing chess with Dems while they're trying to play checkers. Yeah, that's for sure. What is something that he can do to say you're not going to comply? Fine, I'm going to do A-B. What is it?
Executive order?
He can use executive orders, but what can he do to punish the state?
Not give them federal funding.
That's it. And he can cut off their lifeblood. So although California produces a shit ton of money in tax revenue, federal funding is very, very important to California and other states. And by cutting it off, you ultimately are putting them in a position that can hurt that state. Now, the president wants to be careful of doing that, but he has done that. He did that with fire relief and forest funding, with the water restrictions to get the water flowing, which the press walked that back and said, oh, well, now water actually is flowing, and now California is wasting it. But the president has a lot of different powers, but really, truly, the president is just a representative of the collective state's best interest.
Can the governor stop federal government from coming into the state? That's from Donald Thompson on Facebook.
It depends. So this is okay. If it's federal, this is really simple, Don. If it's federal, no. If it's not, yes. And tie always goes to the state. So if ICE wants to go into the state, the state government cannot stop them because it's federal. okay? But they cannot order them to assist. So let's say ICE wants to come in and do a raid. They can't order local sheriff's department or state patrol or city cops to assist. But those city cops cannot stop them either. But they can work in opposition to them. So this is something we're going to talk about tonight with the leaks from the FBI. You have a federal government working against another federal government. We're going to talk about that. But let's get done with this block, and we'll come right back. Here it is.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
I'm so proud of the Dumb Nation, man. They know their Constitution, and it's 4 years of just working together and learning and reading. And the fact that you guys are getting these before I even say it, it just makes, I got goosebumps, man. And I got a Woody, but
Well, that's because my hair's in a ponytail. But
let's just raise the desk a little bit. It's a little uncomfortable.
Rhonda has a question.
Rhonda, go.
How can we stop these sanctuary cities and states?
Sanctuary, it has to be economic pressure, and it has to become a drudgery for that state. And this is like Eric Adams of New York. And although only a mayor, and you're not going to have the governor go ahead and bend on this, but New York City has a ton of pull, considering that it makes up pretty much like 90% of New York's revenue and tax revenue. It has to come from the states. The states have to call mercy. Now, the president of the United States can go ahead and say, issue an executive order that they are going to go into states that are sanctuary cities and declare that by military force that those states can no longer offer sanctuary cities. That is called martial law, and that is going to lead to a revolt. And the states will most assuredly execute to protect themselves. And this is something that the president doesn't want to do. Martial law is no good. It's not a good thing to do. You don't want U.S. troops in states. This is how you get military-run states. This is how you get tyrannical governments. It comes down to this. The governors, it behooves the governors to work in the best interest of the federal government and the state government at the same time. But sometimes you get idiots. Now, looking at Newsom, I don't like Newsom, but at least when it's needed, he can kind of work with Trump. He did it in COVID. He did it during the fire situation. He kind of kissed Trump's ass. These guys don't hate each other, but there is optics and politics involved. I understand people's trepidation when it comes to guys like Newsom or guys like Chris Christie and stuff like that. I'm with you. But when there comes a time when there is a lot of dissension, most of these governors will kind of smoke the peace pipe with the president in order to get their people taken care of. Because no matter what we say about Democrats, and there's a lot of negative to say, their ultimate design isn't to hurt their chances of reelection. And that is a horrible thing to say, but it's true. They play politics. Listen, anybody who allows thousands, tens of thousands of African Americans to be murdered in their inner cities and do nothing about it for 75 years, they don't give a shit about their constituents. We know that. That's why they allow illegal immigrants. That's why they abort their babies. They would be trying to grow their party and talk about family values, but they don't. They don't care. All they want are their votes. And as long as they can get 51% of the vote, they don't care about their constituents. Republicans have a little bit of a different viewpoint. They care about their constituents through individual rights. That all boats rise in high tide. They understand that a certain amount are going to be left behind, but they don't do it intentionally to hurt people. They want meritocracy. They want people to work for it. They want people to, what they say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is physically impossible. Democrats want people who are addicted to government, so they stay. They want big government. They want little government, and conservatives, that's the way this works. Okay?
There's two other questions.
Go.
So Rachel from YouTube, her original question, she shortened. If a police federal building is attacked, the president has authority to send in the National Guard?
He wouldn't send in the National Guard. He would send in the Marine Corps. President doesn't have a National Guard. He has the Washington, D.C. National Guard. But if someone attacks, he's going to use ATF. He's going to use U.S. Marshals. He's going to use CIA. Well, not CIA. He can't use CIA. He would use FBI. He would use a QRF or ATF team. He would use the Marine Corps, the Army.
Who did he use in 2020 for the BLM riots?
BLM riots in where? Which?
I think it was Portland,
He
Oregon.
used Department of Homeland. Portland was Department of Homeland Security and ATF.
Got it. Okay.
And ICE in some cases. So he used 3-letter agencies. It was a
Okay.
great question. Who fucking asked that
This
question?
is Rachel Orlando. From
Rachel Orlando.
YouTube.
Good for you, Rachel Orlando. That was a good
Evelyn
question.
has another question.
Holy crap, people.
I know this might be the whole show.
Go ahead.
If the feds control the border and states are protecting illegals, is that against the Constitution?
No.
Okay.
No. Not unless they have federal crimes and they're housing them or hiding them.
All right. Everyone, just so you know, if there's a lot of questions, if I miss it, please re-ask it and tag me in it.
Put a Q in it.
'Cause
Put a Q in it.
There are, but it's like they're going super fast, and I don't know if I'm catching them all. So if I don't catch your question, just tag me, repost it, and tag me in it so I see it.
Who played in it and won? Amy Stancone says, I'm going to go through some of these cues. There was the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs, and Philadelphia Eagles just spanked the shit out of them. Didn't SCOTUS rule no to student loan debt? Yes, Rachel. The governors represent state rights. I'm just reading. I've read all these. How can we stop these? Okay, Olivia, did you put Debbie's donation back in?
I already.
Gold doesn't add up.
I fixed it all. I think it was all messed up.
But you had Debbie who had $51.99, and
It
then
was
you
Bobby, and then there was Joanne and Matt.
Did Debbie leave one?
No, Debbie hasn't left.
Okay.
I already figured that one out.
Okay, I got all the questions up till now.
Rhonda wants to know, can the president stop the funding for sanctuary cities?
He can stop the funding that's being used for sanctuary cities disproportionately, but the state gets to decide how to send that money. So yes, the president, for any reason, anytime, can stop federal funding. But the states get to decide where that money goes. That's the issue.
Got it.
States, 10th Amendment.
Yep.
Federal government doesn't get to decide unless it's certain things that are funded, like like a federal highway going through multiple states. That funding would be directed to go to that highway. But if it's like for schools, they get to decide where the money's spent on. If they want to buy, green energy air conditioners for all the schools and spend 100%, they unfortunately, this is the problem with public schools today, is they get to decide where the money goes.
Yeah, tampons in boys' bathrooms.
Right.
Karen Vera wants to know, is this a ploy to keep Trump and Musk from investigating finances within the government departments, keeping it stalled in the courts? Is the Doge team stopped in their tracks?
No, the Doge team is not stopped in their tracks, because even though they are supposed to destroy the evidence of the riot access, understand this. When you find out that a government agency has a large percentage of its overall financing, you have fraud. And that requires an audit. So it's already in motion. Okay, State Treasury will actually do an audit and then subpoena records against that company, and investigation will be taken care of. From an IRS standpoint, from the Department of Treasury standpoint, they will have a full audit now based upon the information collected. The damage has been done. What Democrats have a problem with is a lot of their political action committees. A lot of the money that they fund back channel money to are a part of USAID. This is how they get elected. So these funds that you see going into Brazil and Lebanon and all this shit when it comes to condoms or diversity, equity, and inclusion training. Hey, you need to sit down if you're going to come in here, okay, honey? Come over here. Sit down there. Sit down right here. Sit down.
Puppy came in.
Sit down right here. Sit down, please. Sit down.
She's excited.
No, sit down. Sit. Good girl. Get the dog. She's not ready to be in here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is a fantastic question from Donald Thompson on Facebook. Does the elected sheriff have more power than the federal government in the sheriff's jurisdiction? It's a very good question.
Yeah. Yeah, unless it's federal. So understand this. Federal government can work autonomously in any state, any city, any town, any municipality. However, this is a whole nother conversation. We don't have time for this, but there are certain rules inside the Constitution of the United States which declare people to be exempt from constitutional law. And you can find this with the Amish. But if the Amish go out and kill somebody, they're going to be obviously guilty of a crime. If the federal government wants to go on Amish land and execute law, they can. But for instance, Native Americans, if there's a murder on a Native American tribal reservation, the tribal police have to take care of it, and the federal government can't go in unless it's a federal crime. But they don't have to respect federal law. They don't have to respect state law. So there are certain exemptions, but these are most assuredly, the federal government can work autonomously from any city, local, state government if it's federal. Has to be federal. But if they're going to go in for a state crime and try to arrest somebody to get them on federal charges later, they can't do that. They have to use the state. This is why President Trump can't pardon people for state crimes. That's why, he can't pardon himself when it comes to the E. Jean Carroll, I'm effing crazy $96 million money, because that's a state civil decision. He can't pardon himself.
Got it.
We got to move on.
All right. One more question, then we're going
Yeah.
to move on. From Thomas Austin. What about federal grants directed at certain things? Greensboro, North Carolina has a federal grant to support illegal aliens housing place in what was a school.
What about it?
What about federal grants directed at certain things? That's all it says.
I don't know what that means.
Thomas, you'll have to.
Federal government can stop anything, even a grant. Federal government can stop all monies, even promised monies, if they deem fit. But there are repercussions. State can sue the federal government. Federal government can sue the state. I mean, people are trying to sue Donald Trump right now. California's got like 300 and some odd lawsuits against Donald Trump right now.
If we don't get to your question,
Hold
just
on to it.
email me. Yeah.
No, hold on to it. Just we'll get to it. We'll get into overtime. Listen, the best way to get us to continue to answer questions is we don't need donations. But if we hit our goal and we crush this son of a gun, then we go into overtime and we stay longer. And we have a 2-hour show. That's more than most shows, but it helps us. But we'll get to these questions and we'll write them down. And this is exciting. We love to see it. And there's almost 1,000 people on.
Could he stop it? Oh, you answered the question. Got
Yes.
it. Okay. Good.
So let's just a quick tidbit. I want to go into this. This is something that's been circulating from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Okay.
Okay.
And it says that defendant Josh Shapiro, who is governor of Pennsylvania, there is a whistleblower, and this most assuredly is real. Okay.
Okay.
This affidavit, which is basically swearing an oath that Hadassah Feinberg, affiant and federal whistleblower, hereby that defendant Josh Shapiro in his personal, individual, and official capacity facilitated, organized, and carried out a plan to assassinate Donald J. Trump on July 13th, 2024. Now, a lot of people know that Josh Shapiro is kind of the golden boy for the presidential ticket. He waved off KAMALA, knew that KAMALA was basically just a lead balloon and was not going to get it nominated. So he stayed off the ticket. Walz took it. She said, a lot of people said, oh, well, KAMALA didn't like her to save face. It's Shapiro did not want to go ahead and tie his ship to her.
Yeah. Otherwise, his political career is over and he's got no chance.
There it is. Like Walz. Walz has no chance.
Yeah.
This affidavit is real, but that doesn't mean what's said on the affidavit is real. I am here to tell you that I would be very shocked to find out that Shapiro was involved in the assassination plot of Donald J. Trump.
I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it too. And even though the affidavit is real, it is a federal offense and a state offense and considering that this is not just local police, but this is federal now. You have the FBI, Department of Homeland Security in on this. This guy is going to be in some serious shit. He says that he invited Vladimir Zelensky to meet with him, and they coordinated this assassination plot. This is highly unlikely, and the credibility is extremely suspect. There is absolutely no investigation right now currently that I'm aware of. It is authentic, but it is considered to be like most of these whistleblower situations where it's very apolitical and a smoking gun to be completely bullocks. I wanted to bring that in there because I see it everywhere and it's really frustrating me. I've talked to people in the FBI. I've talked to people in Secret Service. In no way, shape, or form is there an open investigation of Shapiro at this time. Now, would they tell me? Probably not, to be honest with you. But you can kind of, when you've been around the water cooler enough, you know when people are kind of trying to be coy or suspect, and that would demonstrate some sort of admission. And there was none of that. It was just absolutely not. It was completely bullshit. That was one of the statements. So I feel very comfortable to call this bullocks like I do on most things, and you should probably do the same. I got to wait for Olivia to come back. Liv! Sorry, she's coming back. I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. What's wrong? Hey, Livy. Okay, well, that's okay. She's like, I had to pee so bad. I couldn't hold it. Are you pregnant again?
No, small mom bladders.
You better not be. All right.
It's menopausal bladders.
All right. Well, we're going into B block. So
Okay.
we answered the question, and I hope everyone feels the halftime show we deserved but didn't get. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Olivia and I allow our kids to listen to music that they like, and so the songs that they were singing to last night with this Kendrick, it's Kendrick Lamar, right?
Kendrick Lamar, yes.
Were, in my opinion, I don't care. I love rap. I grew up with NWA, Fab Five Freddy, Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, The Doc, Sex Packets with Digital Underground, Third Base. I can go on and on. Beastie Boys. I love all type of music. And do I think that Kendrick Lamar is a talent? No. I don't love his style. But my kids were singing along and they were excited, and I said, good for them, because that's what it should be. It should be, all right, good. Everyone's having a good time. But it's interesting because I remember like the Janet Jackson tit flash.
Yes.
I remember Prince. I remember Katy Perry coming out on a giant effing Trojan horse, which was,
I think it was a tiger.
whatever it was, baby, I'm a firework.
Yeah.
Oh, but still entertaining somewhat. I don't watch the halftime show for entertainment. I watch it because I can't wait to see everybody melt down. I have no desire to get into this. I watched the halftime show. I was tapping my foot. The choreography was amazing. The flag was cool. Yeah, he said some shit about Trump, but he also called out pedos. And so, you know what? Music should be controversial. It should move the soul. Liv, set us up for this video because I think this is the halftime show we deserve. Now, I don't love Lady Gaga. I think she's fucking crazy. Pardon my French. I think she is an amazing talent. I think she can sing like no other. She has a beautiful voice, but she's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with weird, but I'm not okay with you make my skin crawl weird.
Like wearing a meat dress.
Yeah, a little strange. But this is the halftime show we deserve. Walk us into it. Tell us about this. What was it? And you saw it last night.
I think it was her new single. I'm not sure. I'd never heard it before, but I don't even know where it was. I think it was somewhere in New Orleans. I'm not quite sure, but she was just playing a grand piano in the middle of the street. And
this was dedicated to the victims of the terrorist attack that took place in Louisiana. And like, this messed me up. And I didn't get to see it. I was working out, I think, and taking care of the dog. And then I came up and I watched it today.
I only watched bits and pieces of it. The thing I saw out of it was she shaved her eyebrows.
Yeah,
that was the one thing I was like, what?
Listen,
but I wasn't paying attention to anything.
Right,
so.
like I don't like Nabokov. I think Nabokov's a horrible human being and just a sick, demented mother humper. But it doesn't mean I haven't read Nabokov's work. I'm not a fan of Saul Alinsky, although I read it to be educated on the liberal playbook. I'm not a Stalinist or a Marxist-Leninist, but I've read the basics to understand Stalinism and Che Guevara and Maoists because I want to know and I want to be educated. Just because you read these things doesn't mean that you are taking these people into your heart. I think she is very, very like into some weird crap, whether it's witchcraft or whatever. I don't know. Some people say she drinks the baby androchrome or whatever and drinks the baby blood. And I don't care about any of that shit. I don't know. I don't care. I don't give a crap about celebrities. What I do know is that she blew doors and gave a beautiful, beautiful tribute to Americans who needlessly died. And that is the halftime show we deserved. And if they just would have done that and left it alone, I think that would have been more unifying than what we saw. Here it is. Listen.
Something powerful always rises. The American spirit of courage.
And I'll let you know, I'm probably going to get a copyright strike for this, which means that this show is going to make $0 unless we get to the donation. So if you have a chance to donate, thedumbshow.com/donate. If you like what you're hearing, your first time here, it's a good chance you are. 850 some odd people. Give us a follow if you can do just that. And if not, maybe donate to the show and see what you think. Thanks.
Generosity and unity.
Hold my hand, everything will be okay. I heard from the heavens that clouds have been gray. Pull me close, wrap me in your aching arms. I see that you're hurting. Why do you take so long to tell me you need me? I see that you're bleeding. You don't need to show me again. But if you decide to, I'll ride in this life.
I don't need to investigate Lady Gaga. I just told you all the things that I don't like about her. I don't care. I'm listening to the song. Don't ruin the song.
With you, I won't let go till the end. So cry tonight, but don't you let go of my hand. You can cry every last tear. I won't leave till I understand. Promise me, just hold my hand. Raise your head, look into my wishful eyes. That fear that's inside you will lift, give it time. I can't see everything you're blind to now. Your prayers will be answered, but God whisper how to tell me you need me. I see that you're bleeding. You don't need to show me again. But if you decide to, I'll ride in this life with you. I won't let go till the end. So cry tonight, but don't you let go of my hand. You can cry every last tear. I won't leave till I understand. Promise me, just hold my hand. Hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. I'll be right here. Hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. I'll be right here. Hold my
Wow.
She's
Yeah.
got an amazing voice.
Yeah, you listen. I you know what? Sometimes things transcend politics. I don't like her. She didn't shave her eyebrows. They were blonde, by the way. I don't care. She looks like a vampire. She's weird. She's wearing a big hat. None of that matters to me. The only thing that I'm thinking about are those people who had a vehicle plow through them and killed innocent children and people. And that song is a testament to their lives. And that's the only thing I'm thinking about. And I think if people could just for 1 second just let go of the politics for just a second, you can appreciate things that you normally wouldn't. Like, this reminds me of Jason Aldean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of that song, and I love that effing song. And that's what really made our show. When that song came out, we had like 22 million people hit a post, and it just blew us off the charts. And Small Town is like, but people had to ruin it. Oh, it's about, sundown, in sundown town. And I'm just like, give me a break. Oh, well, he did it in front of a frickin', where they lynched people.
Everything in the South is pretty much
everywhere
that.
in the United States. They murdered people, Native Americans. Everywhere in the world's been conquered. You can't go to a place without some sort of oppression or transgression that you're not. Come on. Can we just stop and appreciate and go, dude, that woman can fucking sing.
Yes, she can.
Because she can.
Yeah.
And that, if you bring me to tears, I don't care who you, good. Because God gave her that voice, whether she knows that or not. And the words of the song were about God. And were about angels and hands and guiding people to heaven. Come on. Those are our words, man. We're Christians. I don't care if she's a freaking spirit demon, because what she just did was angelic. And hopefully it touched people. It touched me. I'm not afraid to admit it. Lady Gaga made me cry. Who cares? We just got, Kendrick Lamar made my kid's foot tap. Jason Aldean, when he sings Small Town, man, it makes me prideful of where I live. I can watch a movie like Ocean's 11 and go, wow, that's a really good movie, and realize that I do not like George Clooney, and I don't like Brad Pitt, and I don't like Julia Roberts at all.
But I can still enjoy the movie.
Enjoy the movie. Go ahead, baby. Any other thoughts on this?
No, I mean, she's got an amazing voice. And I make a point of separating celebrities and their political affiliations.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, it would ruin
like
everything.
Everything.
So
literally.
I know people who have absolutely refused to either listen to music from a certain person or watch movies that a certain person, because they don't like their politics or they don't like who they think they are as a person.
Right.
Every single freaking celebrity is a little bit crazy. And every single celebrity has said or done something at some point in my lifetime that I disagree with. So for entertainment purposes, I'm going to separate the two. I can enjoy their acting. I can enjoy their singing. I can enjoy their music. I can enjoy whatever sport they're playing. I don't have to like the person personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was like you with Target. Like, you went and you took videos of all the transgender clothes and LGBTQ crap, but you're like, I'm not Target's got great stuff at good prices. I'm not going to stop shopping at Target.
I've never been one to go with the company is doing something that I disagree with. I'm not going to inconvenience my life because I don't support that company enough. I'm pretty sure Target is going to survive without my $300 a week grocery bill. I'm pretty sure they're still going to survive without me going.
And they wound up doing, because their business suffered. So,
prices ended up coming down because of it. So it actually helped us out in the long run.
Consumer protest is a good thing. And I agree with it, but if I really did the research on all the stuff that I buy, let me tell you, man, there is things from China. There are things, I mean, you can look at money that's invested by, like Procter & Gamble is pretty much in everything. And they're one of the biggest supporters of abortions and Planned Parenthood there are. So if you don't want to buy Clorox, and you don't want to buy toilet duck, and you don't want to buy Charmin toilet paper, and you don't want to go ahead and buy certain potware and pans and cereal, I mean, you just goes on and on and on. And so I just have to look at it this way. Do I condone their actions? No. Do I condemn them? Sure. But I'm sorry. Lucky Charms is not the same in a generic brand. It's just not. So, I got to make a decision. Are there places I don't shop? Yeah. Like I'll never go to Dick's Sporting Goods as long as I live and buy a firearm. I just won't. I'll never give them that money. Well, first of all, they don't sell firearms anymore. But because of their actions against the Second Amendment, I just choose not to shop there. But if Dick's Sporting Goods comes out with something that's really, really monumental and moving in a commercial, I'm not going to sit there and go, I will not watch this because it's Dick's Sporting Goods. I think it's myopic to this is what this show's about. It's to disagree. It's to have a little bit of contentious nature in our conversations. But in the end, leave each other better than we found each other. Anyway, B block's over.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure, of course.
Debbie from Rumble Chat. It's her birthday today.
Debbie who?
I don't know her last name.
Is it Hensley?
No, it's D-Biggs, D-B-G-G-S on Rumble. Her name is Debbie.
Debbie DeBiggis.
And so it's her birthday today. So
happy birthday, Deborah.
Debbie.
Happy birthday. How old is she?
29.
29?
No, she's not.
You're watching these old people. I'm like,
but
no. I remember when I was 29, I could see my feet.
No, she's not. She said how old she was, but.
Well, happy birthday, Debbie. I'm 29 years young. How many times? Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Happy birthday to you, and may God bless you on this glorious day. We also had Victoria Robinson's birthday, which we did a little segment for. If you haven't seen it, go to the top of the Facebook page.
Kevin's was Friday.
Kevin's was Friday. Kevin, happy birthday. A lot of good people, a lot of good birthdays.
That was a good birthday song.
If
One of our
anybody,
best, I think.
God, man, that song got my ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need a break?
No, it's
Do you
not.
need some puppy kisses?
Yeah.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at WimKen.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
775 people on. If you think I'm crazy, 863 on 558 on Twitter right now, and we are right up there with OAN. That's exciting to see. Donald Trump, before we get into C Block, Liv.
Yes.
Tell him about paper straws in this state. And tell him how frustrating. Go ahead.
Oh my God, paper straws suck. They are the worst.
Yeah, they are.
Because for starters, half of the paper straws are in plastic. They're covered in plastic, the individual ones. Yeah, that's because, they're smart. They disintegrate halfway through your drink. And your straw, the part that you suck on to get the drink out, starts to disintegrate and get mushy. It's like getting a paper bag wet.
Sorry, I when someone's talking, I coordinate with the audience, and Scotty's got it right. It's like, yeah, you have my vote to never play that song again. Me neither, dude. That's just that kicked my ass.
But they're awful, and to be honest, I think it dilutes the taste of the drink. I think they're horrible. It's awful.
Tastes like shit. Who wants to put your? I don't do soda and I don't do high fructose corn syrup, but who wants to do their lemonade, or I don't even drink lemonade, whatever, through a wet cardboard sock?
Oh, it's awful.
It tastes horrible, and it's a wet, dilapidated mess. Well, Donald Trump says no more.
Yay!
With a stroke of a pen, I shall vex thee.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Well, that was some weird shit.
Here is Donald Trump.
Next, this is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
Number one trending. Can you believe it? A paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws.
I'm going to let you know the environmental impact for the United States with plastic straws against all the plastic in the ocean, all the oceans in the world, of all the gin joints, is 0.0001%. Give me a break. We have a lot here. Give me a break. We have a lot of other things to worry about other than plastic straws, okay?
Straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and
Right. Sandy goes, why do we need to use straws? I never do. So why? Well, my wife would beg to differ, but
Yeah, when we go out to a restaurant, I have to have a straw. Just
she likes the little she watches the little fluid go up the straw and make little circles.
it entertains me.
It keeps me preoccupied. It helps my ADD.
private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes, and we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay. And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean.
Next,
I love
an
it.
executive order related.
So of course they're all going to melt it. Thomas, thank you, buddy,
Thank you,
from
sir.
your friendly Canuck. Thank you, Thomas. You're the best. We know things are tight up there, man, but it's going to get
Appreciate
better.
it.
It's going to get better. We appreciate you, Thomas. So yeah, but here's the kicker, Liv. So now
Super Bowl 59.
I know this is going to be hard on you, because all of your Mexican brothers and sisters down south. But the Gulf of Mexico is no more. Now, we knew he did an executive order, but Google Maps, Apple Maps, Randall McNally, the Atlas, Future Globe Makers, Merriam and Webster Globe Makers, and pretty much every Play School is all moving to Gulf of Mexico is no more. It is now the
Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America.
It just makes common sense.
Yes, it does. It absolutely, yes, Dr. Fauci, it absolutely makes common sense. Hillary Clinton.
Which he doesn't have much of.
No, but he got a pardon, so he's going to be just fine, of course.
yeah.
Hillary had something to say.
I hate men.
That's great, Hillary. Thanks so much. Still irrelevant and not the president. He signs the proclamation. As Air Force One is flying to the Super Bowl, he always is working and decides to go ahead and do this. Listen to this.
Air Force One is currently in international waters, for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, he did that well. Make America great again, right? That's what we care about. Okay, here we go. So this is a famous pen now.
I want one of those pens. Listen.
How can we get one? So we can put it on the wall.
4 years I've been carrying water for this guy. And listen, Mr. Trump.
Someone's going to say something. Someone's going to say something.
I'm not a kiss ass. I've been hard on him. Like, I've remained a fan, but I've been hard on Trump. I'm not like Eric Erickson, which basically is flip flops like the International House of Pancakes. I've been hard on him. I was hard on him with J6. I was hard on him with the election results. I was hard on some of his decisions when it came to the vaccine, and I wasn't a big fan of tariffs against China. And I was a fan of Canada and Mexico, a little bit different, but he didn't imply tariffs. But I've been tough on him, but I've also given him incredible loyalty and accolades, and I think I deserve a damn pen. So
I think he honestly would appreciate that. I don't think he likes kiss asses.
I don't think he likes kiss asses. He wants people to tell him the truth.
I think he's very upfront and abrupt, and he tells the truth. So I think he expects people to tell him the truth, no matter what.
I hope so. I would tell him the truth.
That's what I think.
Listen, if you want to, he's not running anymore. But I have called the 2020, 2022, and 2024 elections like
perfect.
Balls accurate. So,
let's just hope our past credentials get selected to go to the White House? I'm going to assume that every day it's a different podcast that goes in or something.
I don't think we're going to get selected. I don't think they want me on. They don't want me on that wall. They don't need me on that wall. But I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. It's not my fault. I try hard. FBI leaks. Oh my gosh. Liv.
Yes.
It's really hard for me to take people seriously when you've got Homan and you've got the entire, make America great again. Let's secure the border. You got a mandate from the people. His approval rating. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then you have some shit like this. Let me tell you, man, leaks.
First of all, if they're shouting and helping these people get...
it's the number one thing. It's the number one thing that will get you just excommunicated from the intel community. So they went into Colorado. They went into that apartment complex in Aurora, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were going after Trende del Niagua,
yes, the Venezuelan
TND,
game.
Whatever they are. Whatever, stupid name. It sounds like I need water. Trende, ¿cómo? Do you have agua? Mis establos? Cocaína? Mis establos. El crayon es losh. Anyway, so you've got these gangbangers that are taking over apartment complexes, and somebody leaks the information. Here it is. Listen to this. We're in the C block.
Have so many questions. First of all, if they're shouting and helping these people get away with bullhorns, how is that legal to get help from the people in the streets? I know they can protest, but that's not what they're doing.
What Rachel said.
You're exactly right. When they come to they cross the line of impediment, and that's why I'm working very close, starting this morning with the Department of Justice, and where do they cross that line of impediment? So they may find themselves in a pair of handcuffs very soon. So working with DOJ on that, get some legal guidance on that. I'm not an attorney. I know what SecOps is about. I know what crossing that line is, but getting DOJ back up on that. So it's something we're looking at right now, Harris. We're not going to tolerate it anymore. This is not a game. When we show up these sites, this is a dangerous job for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol and all the DOJ agencies. To have that type of interference puts our officers at great risk. Not only the officers, it puts the aliens at great risk because anything can happen when we take our eyes off the goal here. So we're addressing that immediately today. I'm addressing OPSEC today, operational security, and how these leaks are happening. We've already identified how this operation got leaked. I'll deal with that today.
So all it's going to take, and I'm not trying to give anyone ideas, but all it's going to take is for someone to have a VBID or an IED and set it up and take out DHS and ICE, and you're going to see the gauntlet drop to a level that if you think this is oppressive now, go take 30 agents and wipe them out with a VBID.
Yep.
If you want to see the full force of the federal government, you have no idea. Trump will send in the effing Marine Corps if this keeps up. So they go and do this raid. It was televised a week before, so they cancel it. They put it off and reschedule it, and then they get it leaked again. A lot of people are saying that it's FBI, internal components within the Federal Bureau of Investigation that are, they need to nominate Kash Patel. The FBI needs a complete ass cleaning. I mean, they need to spit it out. Why are you crying?
I'm not. I'm just...
Okay, you need to walk away, turn off the light, and just leave her. Okay, go ahead. Thanks, buddy. Okay, I thought you were crying. Okay. Dog is freaking out. So they have her own. I guarantee the kids were playing with her, and they overstimulate her, and she's like flipping out. Yeah. All right, so it's just this is where we're at now. Our favorite, Pam Bondi, had something.
Your favorite.
You like Pam too.
I do like Pam. Not as much as you. But.
Wendy Alensky says, another excellent show, Olivia and Matt. Thank you guys for the information and lessons about our government. Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. So Pam Bondi issues a warning to the leakers. And listen, it's not cheating because she reminds me of you.
She's blonde. How does she remind you?
I don't know, but it sounded good.
You know what?
She has an O in her name.
You know what?
To
Every
make
single
America
time
safe.
that you say another woman is good looking, the words that follow that are, well, she reminds me of you, so it's okay.
Well, no,
so every single woman on this planet that you think is good looking,
hey, Jennifer,
reminds you of me?
Jennifer Cockfield says, became a, or she didn't say anything. She became a Dumb Nation subscriber over on Facebook. Thank you, Jennifer. Very sweet of you. No, it's a Gin Blossom song. It ain't cheating because she reminds me of you. That's why. Would you rather have me making love to her calling your name or making love to you calling her name?
Neither.
I think we know that's not true. Okay, so here we go. Pam Bondi.
There may be a leak inside the house.
Son. Okay.
As it relates to DHS and some of the operations that they are attempting to carry out. What's your reaction to hearing about that, and what, if anything, can be done to mitigate that?
If anyone leaks anything, people don't understand that jeopardizes the lives of our great men and women in law enforcement. And if you leaked it, we will find out who you are and we will come after you. And it's not going to stop our mission. It's not going to stop the president's mission to make America safe again. We were very clear with the lawsuit that we filed in Chicago that if you don't follow the law, you will be prosecuted by the Department of Justice.
There may be a leak inside the house.
You okay there, dear? Would you like a glass of cold water to get you out of your stupor?
I have no idea what she said. None. I didn't listen. All I heard was wah, 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 wah. Listen, she's like 67 or something?
No, she's 58.
58. It doesn't matter. She's Gilfy. She's a good looking woman. She's smart. You are all I need. All
Nice follow up.
need.
Nice walk back.
Whatever. Ryan Reynolds walk in, you would leave my ass in a blink.
I don't know anymore. Kind of.
He's kind of, isn't he?
He's kind of a whipping boy.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. He's getting real skinny. I mean, just, I don't know. Whatever. But the point is this, that's like, okay. If you're leaking information and subverting federal orders, you're really getting into some dangerous ground. And I will tell you, this holdup on Kash Patel, it's all just show. And when Kash goes in there, he's going to be confirmed. They just did. If Tulsi Gabbard's getting confirmed, Kash Patel's getting confirmed. So is RFK. His entire cabinet. Nobody's going to stand in the way because they know it's an immediate death sentence during primaries and midterms. Do you know? Okay, let's go into this. Because this will tell you why this is important. I showed you this because this is why I told you that he's going to get the confirmations. And I don't love Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, I'm one of those old school conservatives that I like my conservatives conservative and not socialist progressives. But she's changed. Okay, whatever. But this is why he's going to get whatever the hell he wants. And his approval rating is through the frickin' roof. This isn't a honeymoon period. People love this stuff. They're sick and tired of feckless leadership. Joe Biden is that, and Donald Trump is not. Listen to this. CNN forced to admit this. This is crazy.
You know, I think one of the things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46% of all Americans.
I need a beer to put these flames out. Whoa! Right back at you. Aha, crash and burn, Hamav, LOL. Carnal knowledge this time with a woman
who said that Trump was doing what he promised to do.
Because we were inverted. Bullshit! No, man, really, I've got a Polaroid of it. It's really a great shot.
Compare that now to February of 2025. You know, there was a good show that was on during the...
Oh, you were inverted. What were you doing? Well, I was keeping up foreign relations, giving him the bird.
1990s.
Yes, Goose, I know the bird.
Called a different...
I hate it when it does that.
...world. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world.
What?
It looks like he's got a gray stripe on the side of his head.
70%. 70% of America believes he's doing exactly what he promised. What do you think of that, Livy?
I think it's fantastic.
It doesn't get better than that.
No.
It doesn't.
He has no fucks to give anymore.
Has no fucks to give.
He doesn't care who he pisses off, and I'm really happy about it.
Do you remember that song? Do we have that?
I'm sure I could find it because it's freaking hilarious.
I think I'm going to find it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get it.
It's hilarious. If you don't like the F word, you may want to like mute it when we play this, but it is the funniest song
We're
ever.
going to get copyright struck.
We already got copyright struck on
That's
Lady
true.
Gaga,
Let's listen to
so
it. Here it
what's
is.
the point?
I tried, and I tried even more. I cried, and I can't recall what for. I pressed, I pushed, I yelled, and begged in hopes of some success. But the inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have runneth dry. I tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, the more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget and I'm now in fucking debt. I strive to get.
Hey, Jennifer, you could always take another one and go ahead and put a 0 at the end of your first donation and make everyone happy. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Everything done. I played by all the rules, but I very rarely won. I've smiled, I've charmed, I would have laughed, alas, to no avail. I'd run round like a moron to unequivocally fail. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck fuse has just blown. I've been hunting for my fucks all day, but they've upped and fucked off home. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck rations are depleted.
All right. We don't have time to play the whole thing. And
That's
yes,
friggin' funny.
Yes, Amy said it right. Be careful of meds. I was absolutely teasing. You're talking to a recovering habitual addict myself, and pain medicine ain't no joke.
70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%. When Americans are 24 points more likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do, it's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on the positive side of the ledger than on the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far versus just 11 days during his entire first term, that Trump has a positive net approval rating. Quite a different world.
Oh.
Hey, there's a question.
What?
Ava Lynn again.
Ava Lynn.
Doesn't the peaceful transition of power include confirming the new president's cabinet? Nothing peaceful about stalling confirmations. You would think.
No, but it is a process with a filibuster, and it is something that Harry Reid imposed. And it used to be a long time ago was installed, and the filibuster used to have certain rules of decorum, and it's very interesting. Some of the old filibusters with Tip O'Neill and Newt Gingrich were incredible, and I grew up watching politics, and I always loved that type of stuff. So, I don't know. I think it's a part of the process. Do I think they should hold them up indefinitely? No. Do I think they should have all been confirmed by now? Yes. Are they just essentially using every stall tactic they can? Yeah. And this is for sure what liberals do. They don't play fair and they don't play nice. And honestly, do we expect anything less of these people? At this point, let them. All they're doing is sealing their fate for 2028. That's all they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going against what their constituents want, which means that the people who voted for them are going to be like, wait a second, they don't have my interest.
No.
They don't care. They only care about themselves, and they're going to start getting voted out, which is good.
Correct. We're not using Proton Me anymore.
How long can they stall his appointment?
We're not using Proton Me anymore.
Oh, we're not.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to put that up anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, they can do, it's not a vote of no confidence, but essentially that's what it is. Essentially, it's saying, hey, timeout, we need more time, and that's 10 days. They did that with Pam Bondi. Most of them should be confirmed between 30 and 45 days. It should be much quicker than it is. But can they do it much longer? No. And honestly, if it continues, then they're just going to go ahead and close session and put them as temporary appointments. It's stupid. They're just delaying. This is what they do.
They're just trying to make it as hard as possible.
But you know what? All they're going to do is just get more ire. And honestly, the news cycle can't take anymore. Like, I'm kind of enjoying the staggering because when Kash Patel gets in with the FBI, holy shit. I mean, Pete Hegseth is knocking doors and knocking heads. Elon Musk is knocking heads. Homan's doing it. You've got Kristi Noem who's just going crazy. Wait till the White House counsel gets involved. There's only so many hours in the day, folks. I mean, we could be doing 8-hour shows with all this news. Moving on to D Block.
Would you mind turning off the fan?
Yeah. You know what? It's serious. Like, I can't win. I mean, one day, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off.
That's menopause for you.
Okay. D Block. Here we are. Airline kicked this family off their flight because they wanted crew to take the seats. So they purchased all these seats, and they purchased seats for the kids, and they tried to kick them off and put them on a new plane so an air crew could be transported. You know what? This is the FAA. They need to crack down on unfair business practices in the airlines. I am so sick of this shit that I pay for my bag every time I go on, and I never get it first. I have to wait for it, and other people go ahead and go, oopsie doopsie, mine's too big, and they check it at the freaking gate, get it for free, and get out first. Screw this. I'm sick of it. Listen to this.
With you outside. Why? I need to wake my children up. I need to.
We've been waiting for 3 hours.
I'm not getting. No, this is really wrong. Absolutely not. I'm not. That's so wrong. I need for you to come with me.
No, we need to talk to some people then.
I need to talk to somebody. Then who can give me answers right here.
I can't do that. And that, I will have to bring OPD.
That's fine. I need answers. That's fine.
And I have to decline everybody for the plane.
Absolutely not. This is so wrong. This is very big mistake. Very big mistake. Okay, well, I need somebody to come talk to me, give me answers because my kids are sleeping and I've been waiting.
I am asking.
I asked you for answers because I didn't. You could give me answers and it was making me feel uncomfortable. No, I need answers. No, I need answers right here.
I've been literally, collectively, all of us have been waiting.
Give me answers right now before I gather my young children.
Ma'am, I need for you to head down with me and we'll talk outside. She's been waiting with her children.
Oh, at this point, what does it matter to me? I can't get on. I can't go home.
As a mother, by the way, Debbie says men on pause is very real. There's been no pause button in sight. Maybe fast forward. That doesn't speak very well for me. Go ahead, Liv.
What you were asking me something.
What do you think of this? You're a mom. I mean,
I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. Now, I could ask my mom if this ever happens. I don't think it ever has. I would have to ask her, though, and ask her what the regulations are on that.
Oh, they can absolutely bump you from a seat without your permission. They ask for volunteers and then they can force do it. I've had my seat force bumped many, many times.
I think it's completely and absolutely wrong.
Yep. And then they go, "Oh, we'll give you a voucher." And then it's like, "I don't want a voucher.
I want to go home.
This is on my company P card. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to get any voucher for this. I'm not doing it." And they're like, "Sir, we need your seat. You were booked last." I'm like, "Why are you overselling the flight?" Well, because we have cancellations. Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Exactly. And if you know that flight attendants, I mean, they know these schedules ahead of time. My mom has to make her schedule a month ahead of time. They know when they are going to be deadheading on a flight. They absolutely know. So the fact that they don't
they oversell the
out?
flight. The
Yeah,
airline
constantly.
oversells it. And because they have a certain amount of cancellations, but if those people don't cancel, then you take the largest group, and it's better to piss off one family than piss off 4. So instead of the single flyers and moving them, you move an entire family off. This is ridiculous.
No,
this is just
I would be
stupid practice.
So pissed if that was me. Because I mean, I flew a couple times with just me and the kids, and I would be absolutely livid if they tried to take us off the flight. I would be pissed. I would be absolutely doing the exact same thing. If I hadn't done anything wrong, all I had done, it was sit in my seat and my kids were there and they're sleeping and they asked me to leave. No, I'd absolutely be asking for somebody to come talk to me on the plane and I wouldn't move.
Yeah. All right. Going into the D block, J.D. Vance will not be the president of the United States. Listen, I've been telling you guys this. J.D. Vance was a pick that helped with Ohio and helped secure the Rust Belt. It honestly was also to calm a lot of minds. He's not a president.
No, he's not.
He's not going to be.
He doesn't have that presidential vibe. I think to be completely honest, he doesn't remind me of Pence, but he reminds me of Pence. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good debater, but he doesn't have a lot of personality.
He's very good at defending the president, and he is
right.
He's got Donald Trump's back. He defends him at every angle. Anytime he's asked a question, he is constantly defending his actions, what he's doing, what his policies are, why he's signing the executive orders, blah, blah, blah. So he is fantastic as a vice president, because that's what the vice president should do. I don't think
Jenny.
She's molesting me.
Jenny.
Oh my goodness.
God almighty,
I
cat.
don't think that he's very presidential.
Yeah,
I don't see him as the president.
Right.
I just don't think. I think he's going to go for it. I
No,
just
he's
don't
not.
think.
No, he's
You
not.
don't think he will?
No, not
you
a
think he'll
chance.
step down? What
No.
do you think he's going to want to be?
No, he's just
after
going to, the term will be over and he'll write a book and he'll write a memoir. He's not going to be, no, I don't see him running.
Yeah,
I don't see him. There's no point to run. There's no reason. Republicans got a mandate. As long as they do exactly what Trump said he's going to do, you're going to go ahead and see Youngkin or somebody else. Here's Trump. This is what Trump thinks. Trump and I think the same thing on this. Sorry, folks. I said this since the beginning. J.D. Vance is not going to be president of the United States.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an...
Trump wasn't presidential. Trump could talk in front of a camera. Trump could actually convey his ideas. He could get the pulse of the people. He was extremely tough. He didn't come off as Magoo or indecisive. No, there's a difference between presidential and being able to be the president, is my point.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff happening.
We've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
It's like you said.
How,
Go ahead.
How would you feel, though, being J.D. Vance, with your president coming out and saying, no, I don't see him as my successor?
I would appreciate the candor, and I would appreciate the honesty, and I would ask him, sir, I have every intent to be the, you know what, I wouldn't say anything, because my job isn't to run for president right now. My job is to be the best vice president I possibly can. So if I'm J.D. Vance, I don't even have that conversation.
That's true.
And if Donald Trump's in an office with me and he says, excuse me, I want to know what you think about the interview, and say, what interview? Well, the one where I said, that I don't see you being president. It's like, that because I'm not. I'm the vice president of the United States, and I have a job to do. Let's see where we're at in 2 years, and then we can have that conversation. But right now, my job is to be the VP. See, this is the thing. It's like when people go, I want a raise, and they're in the middle of their first 6 months of their year commitment to a job. It's like, you committed. Shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't, good for J.D. Vance. He hasn't come out and thrown any shade. And honestly, I appreciate Trump's candor. I want to know where I stand with do I strike you as a person who doesn't say exactly what they mean?
No.
Okay. Well, then I appreciate it.
Here's my thing, though. We're supposed to have complete confidence in J.D. Vance, because if something were to happen to him,
it's very
then
different.
he becomes the president.
He just said he's capable, but he doesn't mean he's my successor. A successor means that you are molding somebody, or you have someone in mind to take over in your stead. That's different. He just said he's more than capable of being president, but do I see him? It's early. We have to see where we go. We have to see what type of, should he commit to any vice president after the way Pence treated him at the end? Now,
No.
Pence was right, because constitutionally Trump had no recourse for the election, but Pence stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
And Pence blamed Trump for the fabricated hanging, the hangman's noose and all that crap. And Pence was pissed and bitter, and Trump and him didn't get along, but Pence defended Trump for 3.5 years vehemently. And Trump gave him every opportunity in the limelight. And they were good together until the end. But he's saying, yeah, you're capable of being president, but it doesn't mean you're the successor. It doesn't mean you are my heir apparent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there is no Trump. If I was Trump, I would have said that. Is he your successor? No, no one can be my successor. I'm the president of the United States, and I'm the best man for the job. Are you asking me if J.D. Vance has the potential to be a good president? Sure. But that would mean I would need to die, and I have no intention of doing that or resigning, and that's not going to happen. So that's the answer. But Trump doesn't do that. Trump just goes, yeah, he's good, but we'll have to see how it goes. You know what I mean? He wax on, wax off, Danielson. You know what I mean?
Will there ever be another Trump as president in the future?
No.
Or a person like Trump?
No, but there'll never be another Obama. There'll never be another Clinton. There'll never be another Bush, because I don't see people by their idiosyncrasies defining them. I see their consistencies defining them, but there's not enough consistency between presidencies. The equivalent that you could find between presidents is Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden. They had very similar presidencies. Yeah. Otherwise, it's an enigma wrapped in a Rubik's Cube in a puzzle, and these presidencies do not have a lot in common. Biden and Jimmy Carter were almost synonymous with each other, so there'll never be another anybody. Will there be anyone with the panache and presence and stage presence and strength that Trump has? Reagan was pretty damn. I think Reagan still had one of the best stage presence out of any president ever, and was quicker on his feet than Trump. In a way that, like, here's it: when Donald Trump tells you to fuck off, you know you're being told to fuck off. When Ronald Reagan told you to fuck off, you thanked him for it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't know Reagan was telling. When Ronnie told you to fuck off, you had no clue. You're just like, thank you, Mr. President. And he's just like, well, you're welcome. He was just amazing. I mean, he pretty much just insulted Gorbachev on the national stage every chance he got. And he was so good at it, people laughed. Oh, Mr. President, that was fantastic. Well, fuck you, Gorby. It wasn't like that. He would tell a joke. You know, the old famous one is, talking about buying a car in Russia. And he goes to the embassy or goes to the consulate and goes to the treasury, and he says, I want to buy a car. And the guy's like, you put down 8,000 ruble and we'll let you know in 8 years. And he's like, 8 years for my car? He's like, that's right. It's like, well, when in 8 years? Like, March 26th, you'll know. It's like, well, is he coming in the morning or at night to get my car? And he's like, what difference does it make? He's like, well, I've got the plumber coming in the morning. And that's Ronald Reagan. I mean, he just basically broke down why Russia is a complete piece of shit country and why socialism is so ineffectual in what it does. And everyone laughed. But can you imagine the Russian premier and Gorbachev and the KGB and Politburo sitting back in Russia going, how do you combat that? His wit was incredible. So I love Reagan. That's that. Let's move out of D and let's get into E. Did I not have an E block? I didn't. It went right into F. Folks, it is that time. 8:53. At 8:30, we usually talk about this when we haven't hit goal yet. We are about $223 or $123. No? Yes. $123 shy of our goal. Mm-hmm. We have hit our goal for, I don't know, a long time. So if we have it in us with this many people, we would love to see if we could hit our goal. We are in crucial mode. We've got about 10 minutes left in the show. And we do have some overtime possible if we can hit it. But first, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. I wanted to show you one thing about Kendrick Lamar, Liv.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, oh, it was for Trump, or oh, it was against Trump, or whatever. I don't care about any of that. Thank you, CJ. I learned so much from the show. Always a fan. Love you all, FYI. Love little Miss Ash. Yeah, she's pretty cool too. We love her as well, even though the kids sound like they've had enough of her tonight. Showing you this image here. A lot of people were saying this Kendrick Lamar thing was pro-Trump. Some say it was against Trump. Some people it was about pedophilia. I don't know, but if you look at this picture, it says some things. Look at the way some of the bodies are laying. And Liv, what do you see there?
There looks to be a couple of, they almost look like swastikas.
Yeah, the way that their feet are turned and their arms are turned.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I missed half the halftime show because Ash had to go poop, so I didn't get to see any of this. So, to be honest, I don't care. So I have no idea what was going on there.
It wouldn't surprise me if a couple of the dancers did that, but it's symbolism, and I don't care about any of that. It's just like when they cut off his head in when Kathy Griffin did that, or they stabbed him to death in that Jefferson play, or that play that was off New York and off Broadway, or Jefferson insulted Pence. It's all stupid. But this is what I've come to expect from Philly fans.
Doing that.
So Philly fans decided to win the Super Bowl in a decisive number, and then how's the dog now? Hey, come here real quick. Come talk to me. What happened? Just slow.
Basically, Hayden and I were started getting wild and just went and it started moving around and doing the growling thing. So I went down to go calm her, and she started like nibbling my pants. So I gave her a tap on the nose, and then when it stopped and she was doing the growling thing, I picked her up and said, "Ash, are you going to go into crate?" And she kept on doing it. So we put her on a crate for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then Hayden came out and said, "Ash, are you done now?" Sit. She stayed and opened the crate.
That's how you do it. Do me a favor. Get out of my office.
And make sure you keep the door open a crack because the cat wants out.
Yeah. And don't let the dog in. And clean the house. Go vacuum my car. Make me a pot pie.
It's my car.
Whatever. Shut up. So rude. So everyone here knows that I can't stand Philly fan. I think Philly fans suck. I don't like Philly fans at all. So this is after they won. This is what they decided to do. Liv, I'd like to get your opinion. We are $81 away. Is that right? Yeah. $81 roughly. Watch this.
That's why I really want to.
Well, like I told my mom yesterday when she asked if I was going to watch the Super Bowl, I said, well, I don't care. Philly's going to burn either way.
Yeah.
It was going to burn if they lost, and it was going to burn if they won. So, to be honest, the city should hold the Eagles accountable. So the Eagles will control their fans. Because if the Eagles start going, hey, they'll listen. But it's so dumb. Why would you ruin your city over this?
I don't know.
Their taxes just went up because the city's got to recoup the cost somewhere. They're fucking idiots.
Whoa, It's the first bomb. We've lived in so many different cities with championships. Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Houston Astros. I mean, we've been a part of some of these championships.
Yeah, we were in Denver when Colorado won in 2001. We were in Texas, Houston when the Stros won in 2017.
I was there 95, 96.
And the other 3 or 4 World Series that the Stros won. I mean,
it's, you know, we've been in some championship cities. I've never seen it.
Nope.
I've never seen it. I've never seen Colorado act this way. Colorado's full of liberals now, but I've never seen them do this. It just didn't happen in Houston. It didn't happen with Denver. It didn't happen with the Nuggets, the Broncos. Never saw it. I was in Los Angeles, and Lakers would win. I never saw this. And then it started happening when we left. But I'm so sick of these stupid people. What do you shoot them? I'm sorry, shoot them.
I don't understand.
Hit them in the leg or something, but shoot them. They have non-lethal projectiles.
Rubber bullets.
No, rubber bullets are horrible. Just use the one with the tear gas that shoots them right in the face with it, and have the kinetic bullets, which are use CO2. Those things will stop a freaking horse. But enough of this crap. I'm so sick of this. So stupid. I just don't understand these people, folks. We have to go in overtime. We can't miss our goal. We need some serious loving with all these people on. I can't believe how many people are on. It's incredible. Yeah. 804 total on the network. Got to go in overtime because I can't miss it. So, you know, we'll just stay up until we hit it. Maybe.
And we already talked about all our topics, didn't we? Or no?
Yeah,
There's still more?
We've killed it. We've done everything. Candace Owens, folks. Candace is completely just nuts. She has, I don't know what happened to her, but I loved listening to Candace Owens. And she's off her fucking rocker, Liv. Like, seriously. She's
gone a little nuts.
She's cooked.
We too many martinis.
I think Ben Shapiro broke her. But now, I mean, first she did the USS Liberty. Then she started doing the Rothschild stuff. Now she's saying that Jews, Israel perpetrated 9/11. She's talking about the dancing Jews, and she's talking about how Jews were called off work that day. Listen to this. I mean, it's such insanity. I mean, she's just freaking wacko. Listen.
What they did to Julian Assange. I'll tell you guys in the 9/11 comments section from last week, you guys were dropping all sorts of tidbits, had me at the edge of my seat. And I began researching things I had never even heard of. And I am now completely shaken.
Like, oh my God.
So yeah, I showed you guys that video of the Israelis who were celebrating.
Dancing Jews. The dancing Jews. There were other groups who celebrated that day, right? And people understand that there's people who hate America. And there are Jews that hate America. There are Muslims that hate America. There are Amish who hate America. There's Christians who hate America. There's white people, black people, brown people, transgender people. There's people in every demographic who hate America. That doesn't mean that they went ahead and perpetuated and perpetrated this atrocity.
Yeah.
Do they understand there were Jews in the World Trade Center who died? Do they understand that the first flight that hit the building, there was a Jewish man who died? I mean, come on.
Out that they had connections to the Israeli intelligence apparatus, and the FBI pretty much just let him go for whatever reason. Said, okay, we looked into it, no further follow-up. Then that sort of got memory hold. Memory hold is an expression where they basically never talk about it again, and then we all just forget that it ever happened, and we move on. Well, one of you guys commented and said that I should look into the Israelis that were working at the World Trade Center who were forewarned of the attack. And oh my God, yes, that is another thing, after I researched, that has been completely memory hold, but it is true. So I'm going to show you guys, by the way, because before they say I'm a conspiracy theorist, I had to make sure that I had all of the relevant documents, all the relevant links, and I'm going to include those links for you guys. So just check out the episode. You can look at the links yourself. Here is the very true story of what went down on 9/11. There was an instant messaging service that was called Otigo. maybe I'm saying it wrong, Odigo, O-D-I-G-O. It was Israeli owned and operated, and they had headquarters that were based 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center.
Oh my God!
Now, this is according to Haaretz. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. You know, it's a very popular Israeli publication. Check out this headline from them, published September 26th, 2011. So that is 15 days after the attack. It says, Odigo workers were warned of the attacks. That is the headline. And I'm going to read you this piece of the article verbatim. It says, quote, Odigo, the instant messaging service, says that 2 of its workers received messages 2 hours before the Twin Towers attack on September 11th, predicting that the attack would happen. And the company has been cooperating.
Tell me exactly what was said. Verbatim. Give me the words.
Israeli and American law enforcement, including the FBI, in trying to find the original sender of the message, predicting the attack, end quote. Seriously, you guys, what the F?
You have
like, oh my God, seriously? Oh my God, what the F?
She's an idiot.
I'm going to
Well,
memory
I would
hole
say this,
you.
and I'm going to let that
Oh my
because
God.
She's an idiot.
Wow.
I can't stand her anymore. Like to go from like one of the most premier intelligent African Americans, I don't give a shit she's a conservative, to just a complete fucking moron.
Looney.
Just a nut job. Pregnancy did not help you. You never got out of pregnant brain. Thomas Austin, thank you, my brother. We're getting close. $29. Good job, Thomas. Thanks, buddy. Here is Mr. You know what happens when you get this many people on? People wait and they go, other people are going to help out. And then this is what happens. And then everybody gives at the end. And it's okay. That's cool. I love that. Here we go. Donald Trump just had something to say. This is an update. Overtime.
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision. But as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out. Well, I would say this, and I'm...
You want to see Baghdad 2.0? Don't release those hostages. Watch what happens.
Yeah, I think they know that Trump ain't fucking around.
No, I think Trump, even if it's a bluff, it's a credible one, and it's I think it's a very clear message. It's a very clear message.
Yeah.
Do it or else. For the shoe Colts reference.
I don't know that one.
It's okay. You paid $25. You get to say whatever you want, and we appreciate you, JD. You're the man.
I'm not a Colts fan.
Donald Trump is going to sign an executive order banning black people from halftime. Sweet. Maybe I'll start watching it.
Banning people
from
halftime.
No black people. What about mulatto? Is that okay? Like, isn't Rihanna half black and white? I'd like to see Rihanna when she's not pregnant.
She's from Barbados.
She's Mexico. Okay. So
That's the Caribbean. That's not freaking even Hispanic.
Sounds Mexican to me. Here is Ana Navarro, who just drives me crazy because she's a pretty Latin woman, but she is her bat cave is a particular color of crazy. Here it is.
Yes. What about you, Anna? Okay, well, I don't do sports. I don't do football, so I wasn't watching the game. But listen.
Elizabeth says, I want to give, but I had to get my wheelchair van, and it's costing me $922 for... Okay, listen to me, y'all. Hear me now. If you are not required to give $1 to this show, it is always going to be free. We just try to hit our goal. And we'll hit our goal. We always hit our goal. I have the utmost faith in this team. So... it's no big deal. Sometimes you got to work some overtime, man. You work your day and you go, you know what? Time to work a little bit more. Got to hit my number. We're going to hit our number. So who cares? Don't worry. Take care of you. You don't give till it hurts. You give till it feels good.
And you can always and share
and if
follow.
you've already done that, then you've checked the box. So don't worry about it. You need to tell us. No excuses. Let's go back to batshit crazy but kind of cute Ana Navarro. Oh, it makes me what a waste. What a waste. Look at this. What a waste.
I think today Donald Trump is going to sign an executive order banning black people from halftime. Because you remember last week we were talking about.
Yes.
What about you?
Why would she think that?
Because she's a liberal. And they think that Donald Trump doesn't like black people.
Such an idiot.
I can't fight it anymore. You know what? You're right. He should sign that executive order. No black people doing halftime. No black people playing football. No black people playing football. That should be fun.
Well,
watching a bunch of white people play. Remember how that used to go? So, Bobby Richardson,
Thank you,
know.
Bobby.
Of course, we know that you know, and we love you. Thank you, Bobby. You're so amazing. I'm just tired of this shit. I'm so sick of defending. Why don't we just wear hoods? Why don't we have a red hood that says "Make America Great Again" on it and just get it over with? Because no matter what we say or what we do, by saying we don't want it to be about color doesn't make us racist. It makes us sick and tired of this bullshit.
It makes us want to ignore the color of your skin and go by your qualifications. I don't care.
Meritocracy, right?
What the color of your skin is. I will care about the color of your skin if you're a doctor that is going to do surgery on one of my children for something, and you got hired because you are black, but you are not capable of doing that surgery. Yeah, I'm going to have an issue with that.
I just
but
don't
as
care.
long as you are qualified to do that job, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your sexual disposition is. I don't care if you're transgender. I don't care. As long as you are qualified to do a job.
No, I care if you're transgender. I'm sorry. If you have a mental condition, I don't want you on my kid. Sorry.
Well, yeah, there's certain things.
Sorry. And if all of a sudden, you walk in and you're like, Shaka Zulu to the black militant, motherfucker. And I'm like, ooh, you're not touching my white kid. What? Did you just burp?
No, I yawned. I'm sorry.
Why'd you hide it?
Because I didn't want you to know I yawned.
What is this, some woman etiquette thing? I'm not supposed to just...
Well, I don't want people to see me yawn, so I'm trying
You
to
cranked ass on the show the other night.
No, I burped, and it was a
you
total
burped.
accident.
You burped. Yeah,
it was a total accident.
That was pretty bad. You didn't get all... Oh. Squatter Fund. Philly fans suck royally. Mel in with this jab. Mel in with a jab. Listen, I'm so tired of it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to defend it. You can't defend it. Once somebody says, you're a racist, what do you say? No, I'm not. They're like, yeah, of course you would say that. So Trump's Hitler. Fine.
He's going to be Hitler for the rest of his life.
You know what I want Trump to do? I'm serious. I'm not kidding. For Halloween next year, I want him to dress up as Adolf Hitler and go on the balcony and just be like, Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh my God.
You guys are huge. You're amazing. The greatest. Some say the greatest ever. They're going to say it, but this is the problem. They're going to say it anyway. Why not give them? Sorry, I was trying to show the MAGA hat. Mega hat. MAGA hat? What? I understand. Sunny said something. Sunny Dark said, I don't know what she said. Maureen, longtime listener, appreciate your content. Maureen Davidson, thank you. Is that a first-time donation from Maureen?
It is.
Maureen, thank you. Longtime listener. Wonderful for the donation. Listen, I just... If people are going to say that you're a Nazi or a Klan member, why don't you just, to own them, just do it to piss them off? Maybe he doesn't, I don't want him to wear a swastika. That's fucked up. But maybe what he has is like two T's like this, like one live, like one like live, one like this, and then one like this, like, and to make it look Like, oh, we can make 2 cross T's like Pink Floyd, the Hammers in Pink Floyd, The Wall. And he can have, that outfit and just come out in a brown, tight suit with silver buttons and epaulets and have an eagle on and have an armband with the 2 hammers. And I mean, if they're going to continue to say it, why don't you
might
just
as well embrace it?
Why don't you just piss? Holy shit! There we go. Rachel Orlando says, "Supporting great show. Thank you, Matt and crew." Thank you, Rachel. $10. Appreciate you. So this is what it comes down to. We're going to do final thoughts on this. I don't support Nazis because, like I've told you guys before, my last name is Speer.
Speer.
Go look it up. Go look up Albert Speer. Then look at my father. And then look at them both and go, holy shit.
They look like twins.
And he was a Nazi. You know what I mean? Tyler Durden, what the fuck is up in here? First rule is we can't tell you, Tyler.
First rule, can't talk about it.
Well, first of all, you got to fight. And then the second rule is we can't tell you. First rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Third rule of Fight Club, it's your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight. That's what's up, bro. But seriously, I don't care about any of this. Albert Speer was a propagandist, was my great uncle. He was a Nazi, and I am completely have disavowed that part of our lives. My grandmother Schwartz fled Nazi Germany in 1938. Before the shit really went down. And I got to hear all of the atrocities that took place. Was passed down the family. I had family, the Peacocks and the Plums, as Olivia and I have talked about. Peacocks were slave owners in the South. Because you guys are here for us, so we're here for you always. Maddie, we love you, buddy.
Thank you, Maddie.
So it just comes down to this. We all have a checkered past. I don't care who you are. Everybody has things in their past that they're not proud of. Somebody has somebody in jail, and uncles who jail, or somebody who dodged the draft, or somebody who's a drug dealer, or somebody who has hit their wife or cheated on their family. We all have things we're ashamed of. But to say and malign people because you don't like them with people who exterminated and eradicated 11 million people off this planet. Not just Jews, but just 11 million people. I'm tired of it. What do I think is going to happen in Gaza? I'm not going to answer that question. You guys know I don't do that. I'm not going to put our forces at risk by giving you strike potentials. I know you're not asking me, Roxanne, but I'm not going to talk about that. You know I didn't do it in Ukraine. I didn't do it with Iran. I didn't do it with Israel. Oh my gosh, look at all these people. Paul Rivera. Matt, you know it will happen. The dummies always reach goals. Strong work tonight, you two. Olivia and I were good tonight together, weren't we?
We were.
I mean, seriously, I thought we did great. It was a good night tonight. I'm not going to talk about a potential strike. I will tell you that it's going to be surgical, and I can't say anything else. I can't. And I know, because I know the weapon systems that are in country, and I know where they're stationed, and I know what the response is going to be. I will just say this one following thing, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say, is that it'll be strong U.S. Navy intervention. That's all I'm going to say. And I will not say anything else. And when it happens, and if it happens, which I don't think it will, but if it does, I will come on live on Saturday and I'll walk you through it, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'll tell you how it's going to happen, but I will not do it when we have forces that are preparing for a possible strike. We're going to stay on until these donations are on. Wish I could do more.
It's all up to you.
It's all up to you out there. Frank, we love you, buddy. Thank you, Frank Wood. You guys, we love you. We appreciate you. You two are good together all the time. I like to think so, except Olivia's very big in the picture tonight. She looks like, there we go. Better. You just look big. So here.
Are you calling me fat?
Yes. Big bone. So it's just I promise you tonight that on Saturday, this is just a very stern warning. But I think what you'll see is, like I said, United States Navy will be involved. It'll be surgical, and the gloves will come off as far as U.S. intervention into some of these hot spots. Because, can I say that? Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you this.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John Francis. You are the best, Bubba. Hey, yes, it is OPSEC, but I can say this because they have no integrated air defenses. And Lebanon's too far out of reach, and Yemen ain't going to be able to do shit, neither is Syria. And they don't have any manned portables. So here's what I'll say. There are tunnels inside Gaza that are unreachable by current GBU and bunker busters that Israel possesses. And the United States possess ones that are 10 times more powerful and can reach the deepest confines of Hamas's cells and networks underground. That's what I will tell you. Okay? Got it? Put 2 and 2 together. Brian Moody, $21.10. That's got to be new one.
New. We had 2 new.
Brian, thank you,
so
buddy.
we really appreciate it.
I really appreciate that, bud. Thank you.
I love all the comments too, though, that we can put comments
You guys
in.
put comments in there because that's the best.
I love the comments.
You know, like Matt's penis is huge. That always makes me feel better. Really appreciate it. Don't start.
Bobby just said, or no, it was Debbie. We love Olivia. We tolerate Matt.
Bobby said that?
No, Debbie Hensley. She's obsessed with feet, remember?
So am I. I've got a huge foot fetish. Olivia knows. I'm completely.
It's the feet pictures.
Huge foot. Ass man first, foot fetish second. I'm not going to lie. I don't care. A woman is to be adored. Every part of her. There's nothing except for the bitchy personality once a month. But other than that, everything should be adored. So that's what, listen, the United States has the ability to reach levels of this exercise, this prosecution of this war that Israel doesn't. And we could fix this in about 3 hours. And if Hamas has any common sense, they are going to release all those hostages. Because if they don't, they're summarily going to lose their command and control network. And once they do that, then they're going to be randomly picked off by the Jews. So you got to understand, if they reach their command and control, this is over. Matt's kids are awesome, very smart. Both mom and dad are intellects. Wow.
You're an intellect. They get their good looks from me.
You're an intellect. Oh, intellect, not intellect, because you're totally intellect. But intellect. Got it. Folks, are we all wrapped up? Are we butt kissed at this point?
Yes.
Folks,
we really appreciate it so much, guys.
Are we looking at a strike in Gaza? There's many other countries involved in this, including Yemen, including Lebanon, including Iran, and Syria. If the United States gets involved, it doesn't believe in leaving opportunity for other threats to exist. I can't say anymore. We're done. I can't. And it's not because I have the top secret knowledge. It's just I understand strike and I know what they're going to hit. It's because I was trained by the same government who is telling them what to hit is the same government that trained me to tell them what to hit. So I'm just going to tell you, I just gave you a huge clue. There are things that Israel cannot hit that need to in order to eliminate Hamas. And that is GBUs, bunker busters that have the ability to penetrate further than what they can penetrate at. There it is. Okay? Liv?
Yes.
When are we on next, honey?
You and Leroy are on tomorrow. Because our son was supposed to have a choir concert tomorrow with group solo. But they've got technically no school. We aren't making the kids go to school, but we're supposed to get snow like 12 or 1. So they're shutting school down 3 hours
We're not letting
early.
them go to school.
So we're like, what's the point? Do you have any... Hayden was supposed to have a math test, and then she just got, nope, it's canceled because class is only 30 minutes. So we're like, just stay home.
There's
really no point.
It's pretty much already fixed in the Middle East, don't you think? Nope. Not at all. These are like whack-a-moles. You take one down, one pops up. And Hamas has infrastructure, and they still have standing opposition that needs to be eradicated. Yeah, Trump's not fucking around. This was just an update. Mr. President, when you say all hell is going to break loose, what are you talking about? Retaliation? You'll find out, and they'll find out. Hamas will find out what I mean. These are sick people, and they'll find out what I mean. Saturday, 12 o'clock.
Ooh, yeah, he ain't fucking around.
We'll be on tomorrow night. Leroy and I will break it down for you. We will probably be able to talk a little bit. I want to confer with my good friend who works in the trade. Folks, thank you so much for the donations. They're incredible. You guys, I think this is over $600 3 nights in a row. You guys are incredible. We love you. We appreciate you. You make this so fun, and it's not just about money. Even if you guys know we did this and we didn't get the money, we didn't care. This keeps us going. It keeps us growing. It keeps this show going. We'll see you with Leroy tomorrow night. God bless all of you. Happy birthdays to the happy birthdays. I really like where our show's going. It was amazing to see so many people on tonight. So
yeah,
Twitter,
700 on Twitter. Holy cow.
Please follow us on Twitter if you have not. There are still 700 people watching.
Yeah. And to all, I've seen many comments about asking about Elon Musk and his commercials for the Super Bowl. I didn't see any. I'm wondering if that was just a rumor or
I think it was speculation. I looked for it. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. So
Palestine was home to all the beautiful cities, Nazarene and more. Palestinians are not the Philistines. They're not the same thing. Palestine was established in 1836 by a Roman emperor. It has demarcations towards the Bible. But Palestinians were nomads. They were castigated from Turkey. They were castigated from all over on Muslim lands. And the Philistines were more than likely Greeks or Eastern Europeans. So it's not the same thing. It's not to say that Palestinians, what we know as Palestinians, and go back to the days of Mesopotamia or go back to the days of the Canaans. And you can go back and all throughout history. The Jews have been there for almost 3,000 years. And when you look at Palestinians as we know them now, you're looking at a much shorter period of time. From the currency to the writings, Jews have a claim to that land. And even when they were castigated and exiled out by the Romans, there were still 7% of the Jewish population remained in Israel. They have a solemn claim to that land. Yep, Palestine, Greek islanders mainly. The Philistines. So a lot of people mix this up and go, oh, well, the Philistines are the Palestinians. That's not true. Not true at all. In fact, Palestinia is the etymology of the word Palestine, which is Roman. So, yeah, we can have this talk. I can go through it. We've done it 100 times. I don't need to because I've already proven it. Love you. Thank you. Thanks for watching. God bless. Tyler Durden. You've got someone you need to talk to inside of you. Are you missing time? Are you showing up in strange cities? Maybe, just maybe, you need to have a conversation with yourself. Tyler Durden. God, what a good movie. We need to watch that movie again.
I'm thinking of a comment, but I'm not going to say it.
What were you going to say, honey?
I haven't been fucked that hard.
I haven't been fucked like that since grade school. Greatest line in the whole movie. All right, good night, everybody. See you tomorrow, Tuesday. Leroy
Night,
and I,
y'all.
7 o'clock, Peace of the Middle East. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
Until this Saturday.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night.
See ya. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show.
Rachel Orlando. Did you get Rachel?
Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.